As the giant customized B-29 Super Fortress reached its designed mission altitude of 25,000 feet, the pilot gave the signal to a test pilot waiting in the back. The test pilot opened a hatch in the bottom of the B-29 and crawled into a tiny rocket plane named Glamorous Glennis that had been fastened to the underside of the Super Fortress. After running through a final checklist, the test pilot signaled the captain of the B-29 and they released the tiny rocket plane. After the distance separating the two aircraft was great enough, the test pilot of the tiny plane ignited the powerful rocket engine and Glamorous Glennis roared to life. The pilot was pushed back into his seat as the tiny plane climbed in altitude and accelerated. The test pilot continuously called out flight characteristics over the radio to ground control in an experienced and calm voice. Altitude 40,000 feet. Speed Mach 0.90, picking up some chop. Now, prior to that day, they had tried many times before to break the sound barrier, which is approximately 700 miles per hour, but they had never been successful. As planes approach the speed of sound, a pressure wave builds up around the nose cones, and the planes shake violently. Many times, the pilots lost control and crashed, and some were killed trying. In fact, many scientists of the day believed it could never be done. Altitude 41,000 feet, speed 0.93, shaking. 42,000 feet, 0.94, turbulence continuing to increase. Altitude 42,500, speed 0.95. 0.96, 0.97, 43,000 feet, 0.98 Mach, extreme turbulence. The test pilot ever so gently moves the control surfaces of the wings. The tiny plane lurches and then stops shaking. The pilot taps the speed gauge with his finger and then says in a slightly elevated voice, "Speed indicator reading 1.06, no turbulence." Moments later, the scientists on the ground hear a giant sonic boom, confirming they had done it. The day was October 14th, 1947. The test pilot was Chuck Yeager, and at 43,000 feet above the desert Southwest, he had become the first human being to travel faster than the speed of sound. Now, I tell you this story for one simple reason. Because this is not a metaphor. This is the way change actually happens in this world. Change causes turbulence. Sometimes it's armed violence as tribalized groups fight over reduced resources. Sometimes it's economic disruptions or social unrest or humanitarian crisis brought on by natural disasters. Turbulence is not a sign we are going in the wrong direction. We need to remain calm and continue to press for the change we want. So be courageous and bring your genius to the world. We're all counting on you. This is Gene Tierney with Beloved Community Action. You know, the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. famously dreamt of a society he called the beloved community that is inclusive, equitable, sustainable, and prosperous. Despite news-generated feelings of hopelessness and chaos, a more cooperative, interdependent humanity is possible, is necessary to solve many of our most pressing problems, and is beginning to unfold right in front of us today, presenting countless opportunities for individuals and organizations of every type. Please join us on this journey of discovery and change. Subscribe and like our videos, and go to our website, www.belovedcommunityaction.org, Explore our informational materials and consider becoming a member. Thank you.